Expert Strategies, Joe Welu. Joe, seasons are changing right now.
Yeah, it's definitely cold up here in Minnesota, I'll tell you that.
It is. And I think really, though, a lot of people make an assumption about the coming months.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of the big things in our industry that I think has kind of plagued the average salesperson for a long time is their mindset when it gets cold outside and our climate up here, or if it just gets to be towards the holidays, the average salesperson just slows down their work ethic and they just sort of check out. And the elite producer, the people that really kick ass and do a lot of business, they double down because they know that there is a disproportional amount of people that just stop being on point, stop answering their phone, stop engaging on social. And so they focus on really jamming through more deals this time of year and dial up their level of intensity because there's still a ton of business out there.
And one of the things that I think is really interesting is that when the inventory situation has gotten to the point that it is, there is a real easy sort of temptation to fall back and say, well, I'm going to dial back my efforts because the market conditions are too tough.
Yeah, I think number one, here's what I know to be certain. And all the years that I was in the sales side of the industry selling real estate, in the worst year that we ever had, there was still something like 5.5 million closed transactions, right? Which, I don't know, it's 15, 20% more than that now, or maybe it's a little bit higher than that. But so even in the worst times, life is still happening. People are relocating. And this is, by the way, this is like the best of times. So people are getting new jobs. Job markets are great. Millennials are buying homes. You've got all these things happening. But even during the slow times, if it's not ideal, life still happens. People get married, get divorced, all those different types of things happen all 12 months out of the year. And so there's always deals to be done, mortgages to be originated, and it's just about staying in the game and keeping your mindset focused on putting in the effort every day this time of year. Because a lot of people, it's always related to they stop putting in effort, and unfortunately, guess what happens when you stop putting in effort? Your results go down.
Maybe you're a loan officer or a realtor or maybe even a team leader or a manager, and you're sitting here saying, average versus elite salespeople. What does it take really to make that jump?
I think it takes commitment, right? I mean, we're talking about, the slow season and whatnot, but I think it's a great testament overall to how elite performers, and this, by the way, I think this is true for companies as well, because I think a lot of particularly on the mortgage side, the culture of the company is set at the top, and it really resonates through the organization in a much more dramatic way than it does on the real estate side. But it's the mindset difference between staying committed. Are you committed, or are you just going to dabble and be wishy-washy? When days are tough, do you push through and do you say, you know what, I know everybody's saying it's slow out here, but I'm going to go out and I'm going to visit that 5 open houses, or I'm going to go talk with my referral partners and let them know, hey, I'm here to push deals through for you the rest of the year. I mean, now is a great time of year. There's less of your competitors that are out there visiting those referral partners. Now would be a great time of year to get out and go out and say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm dialed in through the rest of the year. I'm going to make sure deals get done, and you're going to pick up business. Guarantee it.
I think you just said something really important. You talked about dabbling versus making a commitment. I think that maybe even companies and producers alike, for the most part, can be drivers and moving forward, but allow themselves to fall victim to the pitfall of dabbling when seasons change.
They start listening to the noise and they start buying into other people's opinions and just general independent opinions that may or may not be as relevant. And so a lot of times perception ends up being their reality. So they perceive things to be one way. Just like a lot of people perceive the top producers, and I've had just the great pleasure of getting to know some of the most accomplished professionals in this industry and some of the companies that have just built incredible companies over the last 7-8 years. I've gotten close to some of those folks, and what I've learned is they're not that different. There's no special bullet that they have. What they did is they became obsessed with the result they were looking for, and they completely committed to it. And that is a 12-month out of the year, 52 weeks out of the year commitment. And a lot of people just aren't willing to do that.
And I think basically it comes back to, if I'm understanding you correctly, it's not really what other people are saying or what's really going on. It's what you do.
It's what you do. And it's also really important piece, I think, is continuing to push yourself outside your comfort zone. All great things in life and in business really come when you're in your growth mode, which is you're outside your comfort zone, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that equivalent it to if you exercise and you're straining the muscle, that's how it grows, right? So you've got to think about your business the same way. When you're pushing to a point where you're a little bit uncomfortable, that's good. That's where the magic happens. That's where things get good. Right?
It's a great point.
Yeah.
And so I think a really interesting exercise, if anyone is feeling sluggish this time of year or believes that the market in their local community has slowed, go out this weekend and find the people who are, in fact, standing at an open house doing business and align. Yeah,
first thing I would do if I'm an originator right now is I would carve out, and you don't even need to carve out a lot of time, carve out 3 or 4 hours over the weekend and on a Saturday, 12 to 3 or on a Sunday, whatever a few hours is, and go hit those agents that you've been wanting to connect with, or maybe some that you haven't touched base with in a long time that have sent a few deals for you. Go spend that time. Guarantee it's going to produce positive results for you if you do it a few consecutive times. A lot of people, they'll go out and they'll hit 2 or 3. They won't get a positive result, and so they stop. And that's the difference between those elite folks and the people that are average is they stay committed. They know that I put in the effort, I'm going to get the outcome.
So, Joe, are there any other strategies that can really make an impact at this time of year?
At a producer level, absolutely. So I think if you think about engagement and you think about staying in front of your ideal customer or your ideal referral partner, engaging with them on social, creating value, being of value to them, sending them marketing assets, helping them market their listing potentially, right? That's a great strategy we talk about a lot of times. And so being an active advocate of theirs on social media and spending that 30 minutes a day, one of the most successful loan officers that I know, he carves out 30 minutes a day and he just engages with his top realtor partners on social. And that is probably the most valuable time of his entire day because he's continuing to put things in the funnel by doing that. So engaging in that way, creating value, creating assets, delivering value, delivering assets is just a great strategy.
So don't let the calendar influence your activity.
Go after it. Make it happen.